Hello, I'm Alec. I'm a consultant and I just want to hang out. So we got another hot take right now and we're going to have some fun with this bit, okay? So check out this title. What is commerce and trade? So before I go and set this one up, I'm doing this because I was hanging out with the Florida governor, and then I was listening to him talk about tax holidays and setting up more tax holidays, and that just put me on a rabbit hunt. And when I went down the rabbit hole, I was just seeing what they can actually do, right? So when you start to study the words and you start to look at the law, you start to find out that every position in our government has job descriptions. So they all have job descriptions on what it is they can do, and that also lets you know what they can't do. So the thing that they can do happens to deal with consumers and businesses, right? So that's why I'm going to do this bit right now about what is commerce and trade, because this is the limited authorities that our government has right now, okay? Now check this out. You're going to see on the screen where it says game on, okay? Words are indicators of the mind or thought. What does that mean? That means that we're going to know everything about you just because of the words that you say. So whatever a hyphen man or whatever a hyphen woman or whatever a hyphen people you want to call yourself, we're going to know who your master is because you tell us who you serve, okay? Now, drop down and check out commerce and focus on the highlights, okay? Look at this bit right here. Commerce, an interchange or mutual change of goods, wares, productions, or property of any kind between nations or individuals, okay? That's what commerce is. All right, let's keep it going. It says either by barter or by purchase and sale. And then it's trade or traffic, okay? So commerce is trade, commerce is traffic. Now drop down and I'm going to show you what trade is, okay? Trade is handle, trade is use, trade is treat. And we know people like treats, okay? Now check this out. Trade, the act or business of exchanging commodities by barter or the business of buying and selling for money. Commerce, traffic. So you see commerce and trade, it's circular. They both mean the same, but different. Trade comprehends every species of exchange or dealing either in the produce of land and manufacturers and bills or money. So that's what trade is and that's what commerce is, okay? So put those two words in your back pocket and never move from that position because you need to learn how to run jurisdiction over commerce and trade. Drop down. Now check out this true story because I like telling things in story form. Look at this bit right here. Congress is one of my tools created to regulate commercial entities as written. So that's how that goes because, my forefathers back in the day wrote some rules down and then they wrote a trust down for the people. And then they said, this is your government. This is what they can do. And this is what they can't do. Make sure that you regulate them. If not, they're going to run wild on you. And we were like, got it good, forefathers. We're on it. So check out this bit right here. This is coming from the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, legislative branch, right? Remember, we got three branches. We got legislative, we got executive, and we got judicial. Okay, so this is the legislative branch. These are the lawmakers. All right, check out Section 8, Clause 3. Look at what it says right here. It says, the Congress, remember that's my tool, the Congress shall have power to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. So that's why we showed you what commerce is, and that's why we showed you what trade is, because that's the little job description that our Congress has, okay? So we're done with this slide. Let's hop on our next bit. So much fun. All right, check this out. What is consumer? Okay, so we're going to show you what consumer is, but fun fact, consume means to destroy, right? So when they call you a consumer, they're saying you're a destroyer, and it's just like, nah dude, I'm one of the people. I'm not a destroyer. I'm here to build and I'm here to love, okay? But check out their definition of consumer, okay? This is what our government defines consumer as. The term consumer means an individual who obtains through a transaction products or services which are used primarily for personal, family, or household purposes, and also means the legal representative of such an individual. So that's a lot of words just to call, how they call someone's a consumer, you're a destroyer, but they call you a consumer with all those words. It's too much babble for me, okay? Now check out what a person is, okay? Person technically just means a mask, right? That's what it means, and I don't respect persons because I don't respect masks because they're not alive, all right? Check out what their definition of person is. It says, the term person means an individual, corporation, business trust, estate, trust, partnership, limited liability company, association, joint venture, governmental agency, public corporation, or any other legal or commercial entity. So that's what a person is, okay? So when we hear all these people talking about, I'm a person, we're like, dude, I don't think you know what you're talking about, but that's why you get what you get, okay? All right, we're done with that slide. Let's hop on our next bit. All right, check this out. Now we're going to show you what is transaction, okay? Transaction is it's a two-word word. It means to act. It means you got trans and you have act, right? So that's what transact is, which means just to act or just to do, to perform or to manage, okay? So when you transact things, you're managing something. Whenever you see MAN, that's man and man thinks, okay? All right, now check out our government's definition of transaction. It says, the term transaction means an action or set of actions relating to the conduct of business, consumer, or commercial affairs between two or more persons, including any of the following types of conduct, okay? Check out what A is, alpha. It says the sale, lease, exchange, licensing, or disposition of personal property, including goods and intangibles, services, and any combination thereof, and B for Bravo, the sale, lease, exchange, or other disposition of any interest in real property or any combination thereof. That's a whole lot of words, man. So that's why sometimes when we read our creatures' words, we're just like, oh my gosh, you guys just babble on so much. Okay, so that's coming from U.S. Code Title 15, Commerce and Trade. Okay, those are their definitions. So whenever you want to understand how our creatures move, just go read their definitions and it'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay, all right, we're done with that bit. Let's hop on our next slide. So now we got another true story. We like true stories. Check this out. In this world, I serve God through Jesus Christ with the counsel of Holy Ghost. That's a true story. Also, in the United States of America, I am not a person. I am one of the people. See evidence below. We like this one. We like throwing this one in people's face because, they think that we're full of ourselves just because of how we speak and how we move. But I'm just like saying, hey, no, that's what the law says, man. I'm only showing you what the rules to the game are. Don't be mad at me. Check out the California Constitution. Check out this provision right here. These are our declared rights, okay? Check it out. All people, hi, I'm one of the people. All people are by nature free and independent and have inalienable rights, okay? So whenever we see by nature, that means by God, okay? So that's how I know who my master is. Check it out. Among these are enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety, happiness, and privacy. So what does that mean? That means I'm free to acquire property, and that means I'm free to trade, okay? And I know that my government can't mess with me when I'm trading amongst my neighbors, okay? Remember this bit, and we're gonna be cool, okay? All right, so we're done with that slide. Let's hop on our next one. Conclusion. Let's close out. Conclusion. Trust God, that's a fact. Enjoy and defend your life, liberty, and property through private associations, okay? So you got to learn how to organize yourself, and you should organize yourself through private associations because, there's a big difference between commercial realm and the private realm, okay? And we like to operate in the private realm, but we like to oversee the commercial realm, okay? All right, let's keep it going. It says, show the people how to move with simplicity. Test, break, and build free people by God with love. Game over. Okay, so that's it. We just wanted to show you guys commerce and trade, because we're here in the States doing a whole lot of babbling and talking about, what they're going to do, and talking about tax holidays and all these wonderful things. And, out here in California, the gas is getting ready to jump up probably past $10, because in some places it's already like $7, $8, or $9. And it's because we have people that are in positions who don't know how to administer those positions. And when you show them the rules to the game, then they get really, really quiet. But what we need to do is that we need to level up our neighbors, because the more of our neighbors that know the law, then the cooler things are going to be, and then the more you're going to be able to trade amongst each other. Okay, and that's what we need to do, because we have all the resources that we need in this country, because we live in a beautiful country. We live in a beautiful world because my Father created this world, and he created it for us to manage. He created this world for us to keep and dress. And a lot of men and a lot of women don't know this because they don't read the Bible, but that's why we're separate, and that's why we're set apart. Okay, so now you know what commerce is, and now you know what trade is, and now you got that true story, and now you know who I serve, right? And then also Congress is one of my creatures. So whenever we see our representatives not doing their job, that really makes me mad, and it really makes me sad, because I'm wondering, why are you in that position, and do you not know what your job description is, right? Which means that I dropped the ball because I was asleep back in the day, but I'm awake now, and that's why we're out here trekking out, and we're laying down all these tracks for the people, so then that way you can see what we can see. Okay, so if you want us to build you a trust instrument and show you how to operate in the world in the private jurisdiction, you should contact us, okay? Because we know how to get down, and we want to show you how to get down, because we got to show the children's children how to get down, because we don't want them to get turned out or tricked out anymore by bad administrators. Okay, so if this sounds like a good deal for you, and if you want us to hook you up and show you how to operate in the private realm, you should contact us. Okay, our information is either going to be on the screen or in the description, or you can go to the profile, you can get it there, you can give us a call, and you can say, hello, I really appreciated that presentation you did about commerce and trade. Can you hook me up with an association, or can you hook me up with a trust entity, and can you show me how to operate in the private? And if you and I seem like we're going to be a good fit, we'll get to work for you, and then we'll build some wonderful things together, my neighbor. But until then, I'll talk to you guys in the future. Remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.